Can you identify these pictures? How will you identify these following pictures? You can identify by observing. Now, while observing it, what you take into the consideration? We check its texture, sometimes we check its solubility, its hardness, right? So what is these things? These are the properties of the objects or the substances, and by which we can identify from which things it is made. Now in this picture you can see a door. Now this door is made up of a wooden frame, right? Here you can see one glass which is made up of a glass material only, then the iron rods and a sugar, right? So a glass which is made up of, here in case of a glass material only, but glass can be made from the plastic, steel, or in sometimes it can be made from the bronze also, copper. So how we can identify whether which material is made or to make this glass? By observing their properties. Now let's study the properties of the substances. Friends, tell me, if we will break a plastic ruler or a scale, what will happen? If you will break a chalk, what will happen? In case of a plastic ruler or a paper, we cannot see any small particles. But when you are breaking a chalk, you can see a powder like particles, right? Now why it happens? Because of the property of a chalk. It has a brittleness property. What is brittleness properties? Some substances, while applying pressure on it, like chalk, brick, glass, break into small pieces or particles. Such substances are said to be brittle, and this property of substances is called brittleness. The next property of a substance is hardness. Now what will happen when we are taking a nail and tries to pierce a cardboard sheet, wet mud and piece of wood using the nail? Now in this case what will happen? We can pierce the piece of a cardboard easily, wet mud also, but in case of a wood we need to apply a lot of force or efforts to pierce the wood, correct? Now why it happens? It depends upon the hardness of that substance. We can pierce a cardboard sheet with some effort. Why does this happen? The hardness of a substance is determined by how much resistance it offers to the substance being pushed through it. So this property is called as a hardness. So what we can say that if any substance is having a less resistance ability or capability when we are pushing through it, okay, so such a substance does not have a hardness. Like water, if you are taking a nail and try to pierce the water, it can easily go into it, so it does not have a hardness. But same nail if you are using for the cardboard, you will need to apply some effort to pierce that, so it has a hardness. The next property of a substance is elasticity. Now what is elasticity? When we are taking a rubber or a hairband, what happens? If we apply a force, what will happen? It will change its shape and size, but when we remove the force, again it will come back to its original shape and size. Why it happens? Because the substances are having a elasticity. So what we can do to understand this, we can stretch a rubber band and let it go for, or apply pressure on a piece of sponge and release it. What we can see, the rubber band and the sponge go back to their original size and shape. Some substances change their shape when a force is applied on them, but return to their original shape and size when the force is removed. This property is called elasticity. The remaining part we will see in the next time. Students, in the previous class, we have studied some of the properties of the substances like brittleness, hardness and elasticity. Today we will start with the remaining properties of the substances. First one is fluidity. Now what is fluidity? Students, when we throw a water on the floor, what happens? What we can see that the water flow from the upward direction to the downward direction. Correct? Even in the rainy season you can see after when the rain starts, the water starts flowing on the roads towards the slope, means towards the downward direction. So this property of the liquids is called as fluidity. So liquids flow downward on a sloping surface. This property is called fluidity. The fluidity of any liquid is determined by how easily it flows. Now students, here also we can see we have taken three substances: water, honey and the oil. Now you all know the consistency of all these liquids is different. So which substance will flow easily? Water. Then next oil and then honey. Correct? So by how much easily it flows, on that the fluidity of the liquid is determined. So which substance has more fluidity? Water, then oil and then honey. The next property of a substance is density. Now first understand what is density. Density is a word we use to describe how much space an object or substance takes place in relation to the amount of matter in that object or a substance. Another way you can say that density is the amount of mass per unit of volume. Now here students, you can see three blocks we have put into the water. Three containers are there. The first block is made up of sponge. The second block is made up of wooden. Third block is metal. So here in the first picture, what you can see students, that the first block is floating on the water. The second one, which is made up of wooden, is half inside the water, and the third one, which is made up of metal, is sinking into the water. Means what? It is in the downside. It is not floating on the water. Why it happens? Because their density, their volume is different. So the mass of a different substances having the same volume can be different. Here you can see their mass is similar. Means their shape and the size is similar, though their volume is different. And because of that, they are having a different density. And hence it is showing a different behavior in the water. So between substances of the same volume, the ones with a greater density are heavier than those of lesser density. So in this case, which substance has a more density, greater density? Metal. And hence it is heavier than the other objects which are of similar mass, means which are similar shape and size, and then also their weight, or we can say their volume is less, and hence they are floating on the water. The next property of a substance is solubility. You all know that if you put a salt or a sugar into the water, what will happen? It will get dissolved into the water. So the property of a substance of getting dissolved is called its solubility. If a solid substance dissolved in a liquid, it is said to be a soluble substance. Like sugar or a salt, if we put it in the water, it will get dissolved. So it is a soluble substance. But what will happen if I put a metal ring into the water? It will get dissolved into the water? No. So it is not soluble. So it is insoluble into the water. But some substances, the similar substance shows a different behavior into the other substance. Like if we put a salt into the water and into the kerosene, it will show a different behavior. Now here what we can do, we can take a glass of water, add some salt, fine sand and sugar to it and try to dissolve them. Repeat this, replacing water with the kerosene. In water, salt and sugar will get dissolve, but in case of a kerosene it will not get dissolved. So what we can understand from this, that the liquid means kerosene is insoluble. It does not allow sugar and the salt to get dissolved into them. So it is their solubility, they are not soluble. So what we can understand from this, that the salt and the sugar is soluble in water but insoluble in kerosene. The last property of a substance is transparency. Now what is transparency? When we can look through a substance and see things on the other side, then that substance is said to be transparent, and this property of a substance is called transparency. Students, tell me, when you are sitting inside the house, you can look through the windows, right? You can see the things which are there outside of your house with the windows, right? Why you can see it? Because the most of the windows nowadays are made up of glass, correct? So the glass is a substance which has a transparency property. Now tell me, can you see the outside things from the door? No, we cannot see. Why? Because the door is made up of wooden or a metal, and the metal or a wooden does not have a transparency property. These are not transparent substances. Now, which other substances you can see are transparent and used in our daily life? There are many people who are having spectacles. Now, the lenses of these spectacles are made up of glass, fiber or a plastic, correct? Why it is used? Because why we are using spectacles? To look through outside things, right? So this property of a substances like glass, fiber and a plastic can be utilized here to look through that substance to the outside things. And the substances which does not have this property or which are not transparent does not have a transparency property. So what we can understand, some substances like glass, plastic, even clean water, we can see through the clean water, and air also. So these are all transparent substances. Now students, here you can see some of the pictures. Now what are these things? These are the metals. Copper, nickel, aluminium are the metals. Substances like copper, gold, iron, aluminium are called metals. Metals show some special characteristics or the properties, and according to their properties they can be utilized or used for the various purposes. Metals, now how these metals are found? These metals are not found as it is how we are using the gold or silver, aluminium. It is not found in this way. These metals are found in the form of minerals deep inside the earth. Deep inside the earth means with the help of mining from the earth's crust, the humans can take out the minerals, and then these minerals are processed, and from that we can obtain the various metals. Now let's study the properties of metals. Like the other substances, metals show some special properties, and hence they are using for the some other or specific purposes. The first property of metals is malleability. Now what is malleability? What will happen if I will hammer a glass? If I will hammer a glass, it will broke down. The glass will become into the small pieces. What will happen if I will hammer a chalk? It will also become into the small pieces, right? But what will happen if I will hammer a nail or a gold? What will happen? It will not break down into the small pieces, but it will convert into the flat sheet, correct? So if we will hammer a copper, aluminium or a nail, what will happen? It will convert into a flat thin sheet. So this property is called as a malleability property. Metals can be converted into sheets by hammering. This property of metals is called malleability. And Because of this property, we are choosing certain metals to make the sheets. Now, where we can use the sheets? For making the roof of some of the places, you can see aluminum sheets are used, right? So, because of this property, we can use metals. The next property of metals is ductility. Now, what is this ductility? Now, what will happen if I will stretch a paper? It will turn. What will happen if I will stretch a rubber? It We have studied that the elasticity property. It will become bigger, but when we will remove the pressure, we will remove our hand from it, it will become to its original size and shape, right? But if we will heat and stretch and drawn the metals, what will happen? We can make a wire like structure from it. So this property is a ductility property. Metals can be stretched and drawn into wires. This property of metals is called ductility. Hot iron is hammered and made into thin sheets. You can see some blacksmiths, they in their shops, you can see what they are doing. They are hammering the iron or the other metals, and they are making small sheets and the wires from it. So this property is used to make the wires. So metals like silver, gold, copper, platinum can be drawn into fine wires. Now you will think that we are where we are using silver and gold wires. We, for making ornaments also, we require thin wires to entangle the various stones into it, right? So this property can be used. The next property of a metal is electrical conductivity. Students, you can observe by cutting any wire which is not in use, you can see that the wires are made up of plastic material, but it is only coated with the plastic material. If you cut it, inside that you can see the copper wires, right? Why the copper wires are used? Because electricity flows through the metals, and copper is a good conductor of electricity. All metals are are conductors of electricity to a greater or lesser extent, and hence according to that it is studied which metal is good conductor of electricity, and according to that it is utilized for the conduction of the electricity. This property is called electrical conductivity. Now students, here is one diagram given. Now in this diagram you can see that a battery is attached to the bulb through wire, right? Now this wire is made up of a metal. Most of the times it is made up of copper wire. Why it is used? Because copper is a good conductor of electricity, and it helps to flow the electricity from one place to the another place. This property is a electrical conductivity. The next property of a metal is thermal conductivity. What is thermal? Thermal means heat. Metals allow heat to flow through them. Means what? It allow, or with the help of a metal, heat can be passed. You can see your mummy is using various utensils in the kitchen. All these utensils which are used for cooking are made from the metals. Not all, but most of the metals like copper, iron, aluminium, steel is mostly used in the kitchen for cooking purpose. Why it is used? Because all these utensils are made from the metals which are good conductor of a heat, means they can allow heat to flow through it, which helps for the cooking purpose, right? So even sometimes you can observe that if your mummy forgotten the spoon into the vessel while cooking, if your mummy is making a dal or boiling a milk or a water, and at that time she forgot a spoon inside that, what happens? If you try to remove that spoon after some time, the part of the spoon which is not inside that hot water or a milk also becomes hot. Why it happens? Because it is a good conductor of a heat. Even when a piece of metal is heated at one place, the whole metal becomes hot, means from one end to the other end the heat will be easily pass in metal. This property is called thermal conductivity. The next property of a metal is luster. Now what is luster? All the metals are having a typical shine or a luster, and according to that we can identify which is that metal. Various ornaments like jewelry is made up of different metals. Mostly gold, silver and platinum are used in the ornaments. Why? Because it has a typical shine, right? And according to that we can easily identify gold earrings or gold ring, necklace, we can easily identify. Why? Because gold has a typical shine. A yellowish color which has a typical shine, that is called as a luster. Every metal has a characteristic color by which it can be identified. It has specific color or a shine. If you ask your mummy, you take any spoon or any plate and you ask your mummy which is this metal, she will tell whether it is a aluminium or it is a steel. How? Because every metal has a different specific color or a shine, and that is called as a luster. Here also I have shown some of the pictures of a bronze, silver, platinum and a gold. All are having a different shine and a color, right? The next property of a metal is sonority. Now what is sonority? If you bang a spoon on a plate, what will happen? It will make a ringing sound, right? So if you hammer any metal, it produces a ringing sound, and this property of metal is called as a sonority. Now you can observe it in the tanpura or veena, even in the guitar. There are certain strings which are made of the metals, and when we plug those strings, what happens? It produces the sound, and hence we are using those metals. This property is a sonority property of a metals. Students, we have studied that various metals are having a different properties, right? And according to their properties, we decide which material or which metal to be used for the which purpose, right? So shiny metals such as copper, silver, gold, platinum are often used for decorative articles, jewelry or coins. Strong materials or strong metals like iron or aluminium alloys such as stainless steel are used to build structures, ships, and vehicles, including cars, trains, and trucks. Some metals have specific qualities like uh, ductility or thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity. According to that, we use those metals for making the utensils, wires, right? So as per their properties, we decide which metal need to be used for which purpose. So gold, silver are used to make jewelry. Copper is used for making electrical wires, cooking utensils. Utensils of a copper is good for health as well. Iron and steel are widely used in building and home construction. Even iron and steel is used for making the utensils. Iron, if we use for the cooking, it is good for our health. We get the iron mineral from it, and steel is also easy to handle and durable. So likewise, we decide which metal need to use for which purpose. We will not use gold for making wires, right? Why? Because of their property, and even we think their cost also for using it for the various purposes. Metals like copper is a good choice for wiring because it is particularly good at conducting electricity. Tungsten is good for the filaments of light bulbs because it glows while white hot without melting. So because of this property we choose that metal, correct? So these are some of the uses of metals. So we use various metals in our day-to-day life also, like for grills In the house we are using iron. Why? Because the iron metal is very strong. But you tell me, can we use iron ornaments? No, we cannot make a iron ornaments because iron is not having a good shine or a luster. Whether uh, silver, gold or a platinum has a good shine or a luster. As well as if we will make a iron material ornaments, it will rust after certain uses. So we have to think about all the properties of these metals for using it in a various purposes. Hello students, you all know that this year we are studying online. So by using some substances which are easily available at home, I am trying to explain some properties of substances. The first property is brittleness. Now for explaining this, to understand it, I have taken one small piece of a chalk. Here you can see. Now what will happen if I am breaking a chalk? You can see small particles here, right? Now when substances break into small pieces or particles, such substances are said to be brittle, and this property is called brittleness. So the chalk is showing a brittleness property. Here I have taken a camphor. This is a camphor. In case of a camphor also, if you break it, you can see the small particles, right? But this will not happen if you will break a cloth or a plastic or in that case if you break a paper, right? Now I have a small piece of paper. Now I'm breaking it into the small pieces, but you cannot see the particles of the paper, right? So this paper is not showing a brittleness property. The next property is elasticity. We have studied on some substances, if we apply a force, it changes their shape and size. But when we are removing the force, it will again regain its original shape and size. Now see, this is a rubber band. When I am applying a force, you can see that the rubber band is changing its shape and a size. It is when we are stretching it. Now when I am leaving the force, what happens? Again the rubber band becomes its original, or it regain its original shape and a size. So this rubber band is showing a elasticity property. Now I am having a pencil in my hand. Now what will happen if I will apply a force on it? Does it change its shape? No. So it does not have a elasticity property. The next property of substances is fluidity. For this I have taken a honey. The next substance is oil. And the third one is water. Now here you can observe the first one is honey, second one is oil, and the third one is water. So which substance flows easily? Water, then oil, and then honey. So the fluidity of any liquid is determined by how easily it flows. So in these three substances, which substance has more fluidity? Water, and then oil, and the last one is honey. The next property of a substance is hardness. The hardness of a substance is determined by how much the resistance it offers to the substances being pushed through it. Now to understand it, I have taken a small piece of paper. Now I will take one nail. While piercing it, you can see yes, by applying little bit force, it can pierce the paper easily. So it has a less resistance ability. So paper does not have a hardness. Next one, I have taken a cardboard. Here this is a cardboard. Now to pierce it, I need to apply little bit more pressure or a force, but we can pierce it, right? We can. So it has more resistance than the paper, but not like other substances. Now here I have a thin wooden sheet. Now is it possible for me to pierce it? No. For this, what I will need to take, I have to take a hammer. With the help of a hammer, I can pierce this wooden sheet. So it has more resistance ability. So this wooden sheet has more hardness. So in case of a glass or a metal, which will have a more resistance ability? Metal. So it has more hardness. The next property is solubility. Now to understand it, I have taken a glass of water. Then I will add a sugar in it. By stirring it for more time, you can see that the sugar get dissolved into the water. So the property of a substance is getting dissolved is called its solubility. The last property is transparency. Here is a glass window. You can see through this glass window. If I'll keep my hand, you can see. So this glass window has a transparency property. Students, we have studied the various properties of substances and metals like hardness, brittleness, elasticity, solubility, density. In case of metals, we have studied their properties like malleability, ductility, electric conductivity, thermal conductivity, sonority, right? So according to their properties, we are using the various metals for the various purposes, right? So we have to always remember that during the rainy season or at any other time, do not touch the exposed electric wires or metal parts. Why is it so? Why we need to think about it? Because we have studied that the copper wires or the metal parts are the good conductor of electricity as well as heat, right? So in case of any broken exposed electric wires, what can happen? That the electric current will flow from it, and especially in the rainy season, we all know that the rainwater is not a distilled water. It contains the ions and the minerals in it, so it can easily flow the electricity from it. So in case of exposed electric wires or metal parts, if we touch it, we get the current from it. So to avoid that, we always have to think that if any electric wires or the metal parts are there inside outside, we should not touch it. Then we have to always think to switch off our buttons of the all electric appliances properly. Keep all electric lamps or other appliances switched off when not in use. We all have to always check whether we have switched off the buttons properly or not. Why we have to do that? Because the electricity is actually a precious thing. We all know that we need electricity for many purposes, to use TV, laptop, mobile, fan, as well as for cooking purpose also we use electricity. For storing the food in the refrigerator, we require electricity. If there is a scarcity of electricity, we may get suffer. So we should use it properly. So what we can do for that? Always before leaving the room, check out all the switches, as well as we need to check that when you are keeping a laptop or a mobile for charging, when you are removing it from the wire, you have to switch off the buttons as well. Why? Because the electric current is still flowing there, and if any person or any child is there at your home and if they touched it, they may get a current from it. So it can be a dangerous for people. So always remember that keep all electric lamps or other appliances switched off when not in use. For example, even when the TV is switched off by remote control, Do not forget to put off the main switch. It helps to save electricity besides protecting us from any possible danger. So it will be helpful for keeping ourselves safe, as well as we can save the electricity, which will be helpful for us. Next, we need to check the electric wiring and fittings in the house periodically. Why we need to do that? Because sometimes if there is a problem in the electric wiring, if any issue is there, there are chances of short circuit. So there are certain incidents happen because of the short circuit in the house, fire takes place, right? So to avoid such an incidents, or sometimes some people get the major electric current or a shock from it. So to avoid such an incidents, we need to tell our parents or the senior people who are at home to check the electric wirings and fittings in the house regularly to avoid such a accidents, and so we can keep ourselves safe from it. So students, what we have learnt in this lesson: solids, liquids and gases are three states of substances. Then the temperature of a substance, how hot or cold it is, can be measured with the help of a thermometer. We have studied to measure the temperature of a substance, we can use thermometer. There are various types of thermometer, like digital thermometer or a thermometer which is made by mercury. Okay, then we have studied the heat is the cause of the change of a state of a substance. Correct? We have studied on losing the heat, how the substance can change from one state to the another state. For example, on losing the heat from ice cubes, it will change into the liquid, that is water. Or on gaining a heat, for example, if water gains more heat, it can convert from liquid substance to the gaseous state. So heat is the cause of the change of a state of substances. Substances have various properties like hardness, elasticity, brittleness, fluidity, density, solubility and transparency. Then we have studied metals form a separate group of substances. As they are showing the different characteristics, they form the separate group of substances because other substances are not showing these properties. Metals have some common properties like malleability, ductility, thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity, sonority, luster and characteristic of color. These are some common properties of the metals. So we have studied this. Now students, we all know that science is developing. Every day there are some new developments are done in the terms of science or technology. Always there are some research done by the scientist or some other people. So what we can do, we can keep a record of these people. Now students, you may not get a newspaper right now, but if you will join, when our school will start, you can start this activity that we are getting NI paper. You all know that in that paper there are various articles every day comes, in which a new research work or some developments in the science and technology field is given, so we can take a cutouts from it and you can stick it in your book. But now while sitting at home, what you can do, you can make a screenshot or photos you can collect. If you find on internet any kind of a new developments in the science and technology field, now currently as COVID-19 is going, you can collect the information of that also, as it also comes in the science and research work only, so you can find out that also, right? Here you can see some cutouts which are related with science and technology field. So you can also collect such a cutouts, or simply, as I said, as we are not getting newspapers at home every day, you can simply get some information from internet regarding any new developments in the science field, and you can save it in your mobile.